My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tec Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tec Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tec Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
And so with qualifying decided, we now head into the top 16 with some of our top qualifiers getting bye runs through there, and now for the tight battles and into the podium. Sitting on board now with Glenn Ormerod in that little rotary K70 Corolla, rumbling away on the line up against the big dog Tim Schultz with that huge power RB25 S13. Both of these guys making names for themselves in Pro-Am, but tonight stepping it up to Pro.
Both the drivers looking good here. Let's see what they do coming down the bottom wall. Schultz with a little bit of a bubble. Oh, Glenn straightened. Oh, that doesn't look good for Glenn. Could be mechanical.
Seems to have lost drive to the rear wheels for some reason. They're floating through the bottom section of the course there, while Schultz taking on that bit of practice and really finding the limits of that wall in the rear end of his S13.
Yeah, Schultz was struggling with grip there a little bit earlier through the night. Hopefully he can get that car dialed and get more. As you can see, the boys coming around to the bottom corner. Glenn looking good, and then all of a sudden, boom, straighten up. Schultz finishes the lap, and that car looks good on camera.
Oh, it really does. I absolutely love that glitter brown colour, and it makes such a savage noise. Bo, the mentor of Glenn Ormerod down there, just having a look around the car, pushing it back to pits, and hopefully getting it fixed again to go back out and battle. Moving on to the next of the battles is Anthony Billick on board there in what is a nicely tidied up interior and exterior of this car, chasing James Abbott, who had a real big heavy crash in qualifying, but managed to get the whole left-hand side suspension of that car switched out, I believe, out of your garage, Shen.
Yeah, that's it. We sent a couple of boys there after Jabs had his hit to get on wire stuff and threw it in Jabber's car. Just got in for qualifying, and good to see him back out there. On board again with Billick again as they come around the last corner. Both boys look good. We'll have a look at the replay and see what we can
see. Tight battle for the judges there, but Billick, you can see just
straight,
a little bit, unsure on the steering there and cutting that inside line that caused him to straighten up. And again here trying to dive just that little bit hard on Jabs and ending up in kind of a straight speed stall, no man's land.
Yeah, Anthony just trying to get up on Jabber's door, but unfortunately causing him to have a few mistakes in that chase. Let's see what he can do in his lead. Anthony Billick to lead, James Abbott to chase.
It's a real difficult one there because it seemed that Billick's car just had that extra amount of speed and was really gapping in on Jabs there in the chase. But then when the positions are switched, that road speed's not there. Jabs seems easily able to stick to the back of Billick.
Looking good here as they come down to the bottom wall. Oh, a little tap there from Billick.
Light enough not to adjust his line though, and that's a good sign for the judges there.
Want to see Jabs up high on his door as they come around the last corner. Good work from both the lads there. Nice clean runs. It might come down to those few little mistakes in Anthony Billick's lead run there.
Mate, can we just take time to appreciate Jabs' ECU mount? I hope we go back on board there because there's a nice cable-tied Hi-Tec up on the dash there. Good job. Oh, that was so tight on the wall there, but unfortunately the chase mistakes for Anthony Billick gave that win to James Abbott, but very tight battle and some nice wall runs there. Good job, Billy.
Yeah, very tight battle there. James Abbott goes through. Warwick Hill in the lead here, followed by Matt Walters in the chase.
That R33's just gotten that fresh green respray here, and I tell you what, Matt Walters, event after event, just steps up the speed, steps up the commitment, and is really doing a good job driving here. But a couple of straighten-ups there in the chase behind Warwick, trying not to get too close there, and as a result, stopping his drift.
Yeah, this is Matt Walters' first season ever competing in any drift competition, and he's taken it all in and progressing every single round. Warwick Hill there in the lead. Killer as always, nice and consistent. All that driving he's been doing all season is really paying off. A little bit off the wall there, not what the judges want to see, but that shouldn't really hurt him too much in his scoring.
I'll tell you what though, Matt Walters, especially on the entry into the sweeper, is looking really settled in that R33, getting it out there onto lock stops and doing those big entries, but then it's just in the chase positions and on the transitions that he seems to get a little bit offset by the lead car. So that's why Warwick Hill's getting the advantage there. Very clean lead run, and as the positions switch, I think that extra experience is going to help him out in the chase.
Big Hulk machine to lead with Warwick Hill in the chase as they come around the first corner.
That's a nice line there from Matt Walters in the lead, but gee, Warwick Hill's little BMW has got some road speed on it.
As they come down to the bottom corner towards the wall, Warwick looking good in the chase. Take nothing away from Matty, but he's doing everything the judges want to see in that lead run as they come to the top wall. Looking good.
Oh, that individual throttle-bodied LS is absolutely singing through that sweeper, and what a smoke screen it put out. Look, cooking.
Yeah, you definitely stepped it up in this lead run. Coming to the S's. Absolutely destroying those tyres. Big lock there, holds it on.
Aggro on the wall.
Well, he does have drift anger on his door, mate.
Love it. A win there for Warwick Hill, but I think really, if Matt Walters had had the first chase, or the first lead rather, and got himself comfortable, it may have been a little bit different. Now on to the next battle, Mitch Jeffery up against Scott Chambers, a new name in the series with a supercharged 1UZ little Corolla. Seemed to get jumped a little bit off the line, but he's eagerly trying to catch up.
Yeah, Scotty Chambers looked like he might have stalled it there on the line, which is not helping him out at all, trying to gather Jeffries back up in his chase. Oh, another mistake there from Chambers, not working well. While Jeffries in the lead, doing a nice clean run as he usually does.
Yeah, Mitch Jeffery is just so calculated. Might not be one of the more aggressive drivers we've got in the series, but he'll go through and run that same line on the same circuit time after time after time. Gets himself comfortable, and he's an absolute animal in the chase. I'd say the advantage that Scotty Chambers has just given Mitch by letting him jump off that start line maybe a little bit insurmountable, especially with the mistakes through this back section here.
Scotty Chambers is going to have to do something spectacular in his lead run to get all those points back he lost in his chase.
Ballsy to come up here to New South Wales after being so comfortable on the home circuits down in Tasmania. Cars lived at your house for a little bit, Shembry, so it'd be a daunting exercise getting out here on the figure eight for the first time as other drivers are just trying to get comfortable with the walls. He's trying to work out the layout, and man, is he doing it on the foot brake there.
As they come through the S's, Chambers looking very good compared to his chase run. He's been having a few problems with that car all night where it's been shutting off on him, but it looks like it's working well for him here. Jump on board with Jeffries. Can he get on Chambers' door as they come around the last corner? Oh, straightened up by Chambers, causing Jeffries to spin. We'll have a look at the replay there, see what had happened.
Unfortunately, I think that's going to be the last we hear of that supercharged 4-litre Toyota V8 in Scotty Chambers' little Corolla, because some mistakes in the chase followed by a straighten in the lead. It's pretty hard for the judges to overlook.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good in this lap. Too much angle coming out that straight, but gathers it up. Oh, just throws it on. Couldn't keep it going. Jeffries did well to not run into the back of his quarter there. Well done, Jeffers.
Yeah, eyes on the ball for sure, and a very quick save, smashing the foot brake there and getting it into spin.
Aaron Uwar in the lead, Jeremy Kosh in the chase. Stepping up from Pro-Am, Jeremy is tonight, and he's been killing it out there. Let's see what Aaron can do in the lead, but...
Hard one to battle if you're stepping up from Pro-Am. Aaron Uwar, a true veteran of the sport, also a race engine builder in his full-time position, and that is where one of many angry V8s have come from, including the one under the bonnet, and, well, partially under the bonnet. There's a big carby hanging out the top of the bonnet there of Aaron Uwar's super featherweight S14. followed by Jeremy Kosh in a R33 Skyline there. And, it definitely has some power as well, but to try and catch such a well set up car of Aaron Uwar, you've got an uphill battle anyway, and then throw the difference in driving experience there, and it's a pretty obvious advantage.
Aaron looking pretty comfortable in the lead. Still getting dialed in with those walls as he comes back up to the sweeper again for the second time around. Not right out where on the noodles where they want to see him, but nice clean run in the lead from Aaron.
Tell you what though, despite the gap that opened up, Jeremy did actually have a really clean run through there. His transitions were smooth, he was driving pretty fast. There's just a big difference between these two cars. So let's see what happens as your positions switch up. Let Jeremy get comfortable and run the line he wants to run, and Aaron in the chase.
Jeremy doing killer out there in the lead against Dabs. Woo! Nice on the wall. Uwar's going to have to get up on his door here.
And he knows it. Look how angry he is in the driver's seat.
Nice. Listen to that thing roar. Well done from both drivers. Nice clean runs from both of them there.
Really tight battling, especially towards the end of the sweeper there from Aaron Uwar. He knew he had the advantage early on, but he's not one to step away from a fight. Whereas Jeremy, really getting comfortable in the seat of a drift car. He's only a newcomer to the sport, diving straight into competition, and look at that. He's really getting comfortable in that car and nailing the line across the wall there. Unfortunately, not quite enough to overcome Aaron Uwar, but I've got a feeling we're going to see Jeremy in some more battles as the season goes on. So after a couple of knockouts, the top 8 shapes up like this. Rob Avellino going up against Tim Schultz. James Abbott and Brad Toohey both trying to jump up those championship ladder. Bo Yates against Warwick Hill, and Mitch Jeffery will face off against Aaron Uwar. Either way, that's our top 8 heating up, and a big crowd showing out in the cold Sydney Motorsport Park weather under lights, and this is what they're here to see. We got Rob Avellino out there up against Tim Schultz, and man, is this going to be a battle.
Schultz's car blowing a lot of smoke coming out for the warm-up burnout, pulls off the track. That is not looking good.
Oh, you are kidding. This was a battle I was keen to see.
Thumbs down.
Away.
Thumbs down from Schultzy.
Rob Avellino, on the other hand, sitting on the line, foaming, ready to go.
Not looking good at all. Car still looks good on camera, but...
Oh, yeah, it does. Even if it can't move under its own power, it moves my heart. Great looking car. So Rob circulating back around, knowing that he has a guaranteed position in the top 4, while Schultzy, as much as that big power RB25 was sounding smooth out there before, it's getting towed off now.
As you can see, he comes out for the burnout, just blows smoke out the exhaust everywhere, and that is not good for me mate Schultz. Oof. Oh, well, the boys at Black Truck will get that pulled out and get it rebuilt for the last round. Oh, let's go. James Abbott to lead and Brad Toohey. This is a championship battle.
Yeah, serious one here with James Abbott currently in 3rd position on the points, while Brad Toohey is down at 5th after a series win last year. And there's a mistake from Brad Toohey that I'm sure he is already kicking himself about in the first battle. Really tight line there through the wall from James Abbott, and he's looking to pull as much distance as he can on Toohey, but Toohey had incredible speed up that straight there and was able to come back and catch Abbott pretty quickly.
Interesting, as we come around the corner, Jab throws on big lock. Toohey tries to jump on his door and boom, straighten up there. Interesting how the judges call that one. They come through the S's. Toohey is absolutely destroying those tyres behind Abbott. Has a small gap and then starts to gather it back up. As you can see, advantage to James Abbott there coming in to Brad Toohey's lead run. It's
amazing the speed difference, because it looked like Toohey was almost hard on the brakes in a straight line there to avoid hitting Abbott.
Listen to that. Twin supercharged LS Raw. Looking good from both of the boys here as they come around the first corner into the S's.
Toohey carries some angle through that section there, pumping out smoke, but James Abbott is not deterred, going in through that smoke screen and keen to chase Brad Toohey.
Oh, Tui starts to pull a little bit of a gap on Abbott. Can he dive in here and gather it back up? Tui absolutely cooking those Achilles tyres off the rims.
So the question's going to be for the judges now whether the straighten early on in the first run from Brad Tui is enough to penalise him for what was a dominant lead run where he pulled away from James Abbott in the second part. Although Jabs, you know, he was up there, he was getting in, he was going for door. It was an actual really nice chase run, but that's the judges' call. Brad Tui going to be battling out for the top step.
Interesting call, that one from the judges.
Here's a JZ battle now. We got Warwick Hill up against Bo Yates.
Bo Yates thrown it in hard on the wall. His trailer wheels on the front after having that little hit with Abbott in practice this morning. Bo is just looking composed. Warwick, unfortunately, is getting lost in the smoke and left behind.
Roasting out on that bottom wall there, and then again
nice.
on the top wall as well. You can see why Bo is just such a calculated driver, knows exactly where he needs to put that car.
You can see on the replay, Bo coming in nice and hot through the S's, doing everything the judges want to see. And this is where Warwick starts to get lost in the smoke a little bit, and Bo starts to pull that gap away. On the wall, on the cook, and Bo Yates gets the advantage.
And an obvious decision at that. Definitely agreeing with the judges there. No one rides these walls as hard as Bo Yates, and he's only seen them tonight. Man, I love the sound of this thing.
Yeah, just listen to that 2J roar. Bo on Warwick's door, coming through the S's, looking good. This is where the gap started to come from Bo and Wazza. Can Warwick pull a gap on Bo? But no, Bo is there.
Lots of pedaling from Bo there, trying to just keep the much faster 8.6 back off Warwick Hill there.
Well done.
So he can come in and battle tightly through the top sweeper, and very nice drive. Although Warwick really making no huge mistakes out in the lead.
But when you got Bo Yates on your door making no mistakes at all, you have to be perfect. Listen to those 2J's roar. Coming back under the top corner. Bo nice and composed. Warwick on the wall, but Bo is there, and Bo Yates takes the win and heads into the top four. Aaron Uwar in the lead. Mitchell Jeffries in the chase. V8 versus 2J.
Now this is going to be a battle. Both of these cars really fast from a road speed perspective. And Aaron Uwar just with that crisp carby V8 with a lightweight chassis up against Mitch Jeffery, who does have to battle that turbo lag, but when it's on, gee is it on.
Oh, listen to that LS screen. Both boys looking good here.
Big subframe smash through the dip, and Uwar is away, but Mitch Jeffery right there with him.
Uwar nice on that wall. Would have been good if he could ride it a little bit longer, but we'll jump on board with Jeffries in the chase. Hi-Tec lights flashing in his face. Clean through the S's here. A little bit of a bubble there, which lets Uwar start to pull a small bit of a gap on him, and Jeffries gathers that back up as they come into the bottom S's. Sparks for days.
Advantage from the judges to Aaron Uwar, but only ever so slight. So we'll see these positions switch, and now Mitch Jeffery will lead Aaron Uwar. What an office to work in, hey? He really made that his own. The big spanner hydraulic handbrake. He's got the sequential box in there. I mean, this thing is an animal of a race car.
Mate, the thing weighs like 1,000 kilos. That V8 in it, mental. Boys looking good here, coming down the bottom wall. Jeffrey's nice on that wall. Oh no, Uwar throws a bit too much angle coming out of there. Could be the difference.
Out on the wall perfectly though. Let's see, he reels Mitch Jeffery in just a little bit and really crossing the line. I'd say the distance was equal in both battles, but the fact that Jeffery opened up a gap at the midpoint of the run may hurt Aaron Uwar.
Coming through the S's just here. Looking good. Nice and composed, but as he comes over the little hump, car throws on big lock. Jeffrey starts to pull away. And there you have it. One more run. These boys are going to throw it down again.
going to be an interesting battle to see because both drivers seem to be very closely separated, both in the lead and the chase, with only a single mistake from Aaron Uwar really what forced this into that one more run. Because otherwise, Uwar seemed to be the much more aggressive driver, getting out to the walls there, really cooking away those rear tyres and just generally looking angry and like he wants it. I don't know though, will that emotion and anger go to hurt him as we go into the one more run?
Coming up to the last corner. Looking, oh no! Aaron Uwar!
Again, like I was saying, trying to show that aggression in the chase position, but as a result, tipping it a little bit too much angle, looking to ride the wall, but having to use that rear grip to push him off the wall, and as a result, off the judge line.
Look at that dive there from Uwar, like you said, heaps of aggression. Unfortunately, was his undoing tonight. Jeffrey's nice and tight on that wall. There you go, Mitchell Jeffries wins as they come back up to the last corner. This is where it all goes wrong for Aaron. Boom, big lock. Couldn't hold around that wall. Give Jeffries the advantage. He goes through to the top four.
What a way for the top four to shape up. On one side of the tree, we have Rob Avellino and Brad Toohey in the battle of the boosted V8s. On the other side, Bo Yates up against Mitch Jeffery. JZs go head to head. We're shaping up for our top four battles now. James Abbott and Anthony Billick on the sidelines as we head into battles between Rob Avellino and Brad Toohey.
Here we go. This is going to be good. Twin superchargers, twin turbs. Oh, a bit of a straight there from Rob.
Both very messy on the entry there. Brad making the mistake first, but then Rob in the lead, just straightening up and losing his drift altogether and causing Brad Toohey to then have a bit of a bobble as well. Very messy.
Rob composed himself and absolutely destroys the second half of the racetrack. On the wall, on the limbs.
There should almost be a rule against these two cars battling each other because they just smoke that track out in half a lap and it gets crazy out there. But that's what we want to see, right?
Yeah, unfortunately on that entry, both the boys with a big bobble. Rob gathers it up, Toohey starts to get lost in the smoke, tags that wall. Advantage Brad Toohey.
I think realistically, Toohey did make the first mistake there, but then Avellino on that lead straightened up and completely lost his drift there and then threw Toohey off again. So I can see where the judges are coming for with that advantage, but at the same time, it's only slight.
Throw it around and Rob is on Toohey's doors. They come around the first corner, gives him a little bit of a love tap.
How is the wing scrape on the wall though from Brad Toohey? A really nice line set down for Rob to follow.
Looking good from the boys here. Plenty of cook on the track, coming the last corner. Oh no, Toohey! Up the, oh! And they come together.
That was practically a stop from Brad Toohey there, and he seems to be slowing down at the end of that straight for most of the night. We'll see it as the replay rolls back through here, that as Toohey came up the straight with a lot of speed, he opened a gap on Rob Avellino, which Rob was obviously eager to chase down considering it's a top four battle. Then as he comes rocketing in behind Brad Toohey, he just doesn't quite get back on the power as quickly as he was expecting, and bang, there it is. Pretty hard to avoid there when you're coming in hot and trying to battle.
Yeah, Toohey runs a little bit wide, hits that ripple, pulls him straight. Rob's got nowhere to go. Let's switch it around. Rob to lead, Brad to chase. This is the one more run.
The judges couldn't split it and neither could we, so we'll see these guys run again and both hungry for that podium. Just reminding you that Rob Avellino is currently our points leader, whereas Brad Toohey, last year's champion, sitting in fifth, so eager to get some points on, and he knows that knocking Rob Avellino out will go a long way to help his championship standings. Oh, that was so savage and aggressive from Rob Avellino, out on the limbs and out on the wall. Really nice line.
Those red limiter lights just flashing in there in the 350Z. Coming through the S's, both the boys looking good. Gonna be hard for the judges to split them. They come down to the last corner, small straight there from Rob. Toohey on the wall. There you go, that Brad Toohey gets it. Would have been close, nail biter there.
Hard one because everywhere else on the track, Rob Avellino absolutely slayed it, but it's just in the bottom section here where we now see Bo Yates and Mitch Jeffery taking off that Rob, you can see, needed to go that little bit wider and out to the wall there and just had a bobble as a result. Really tough call there, but that's drifting.
Yeah, need that one more run and another run for Rob to get up there.
And again and again and again. We would if we could, but it makes it stretch out too far. So I agree with the one more run format. It's all down to the wire, and that's what we're seeing right here with Bo Yates dominating and leading out against Mitch Jeffery with commanding speed.
Just leaving Jeffries behind there, unfortunately, in the top four battle. Let's take a look at this replay. Bo, nice. A little bit off the wall. He's been on it all night. All good. Come through the S's. Both drives looking good, and this is where Bo is just starting to get killer fast. Starts to pull on Jeffries, and Jeffries just has no speed to get back up on Bo's door. Advantage goes to Bo Yates. Look at this. Nice.
He's a savage. And we see another pretty much family affair here. Both these cars packing Toyota 2JZs under the bonnet, both with mountainous power, but it just seems that those couple of extra tricky bits on Bo Yates' car, of course with Bo at the wheel, make it an absolute rocket ship out there, while Mitch Jeffery is just down that little bit on speed and trying his best to open up a gap on Bo now in the lead.
Looking good for the boys. They can't to the last corner. But Yates has to stay on Jeffrey's door, and we may see him in the final against Brad Toohey.
Jeffrey going nice and deep there, tagging that
hands
wall.
out the window.
But man, Yates, that chase technique is very hard to fault. How's the pedal work from both of them as well? You just hear those revs perfectly controlled.
Perfect coming through the S's here. This is where Bo pounces on Jeffries. Remembering that Bo put a pretty big gap on Jeffries there in when the runs were switched. Bo doesn't let that happen to him. Gets on Jeffries' door as they come in the last corner and seals his spot in the final against Brad Toohey.
An interesting turn of events as our points leader and top qualifier Rob Avellino gets relegated to the third place battle, where it'll be essential that he makes his way onto the podium, while Bo Yates, our second points leader, and Brad Toohey will be fighting it out for the top step. Heading into our third place battle now of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Pro Series. Rob Avellino leading Mitch Jeffery and hungry to get onto the bottom step of that podium and protect his points lead in the championship.
Yeah, Robbie's hungry for that championship and hungry for that third spot tonight. But he's got to get through Mitchell Jeffries first. Jump on board with Jeffries trying to chase down Rob, but Rob starts to pull away. Coming up to that last corner, can Jeffries get him?
The torque of that twin-turbo LS is just such an animal. And then you combine that with Rob, who'd be happy to put that car on the trailer bent in half, and you've got a recipe for disaster. He is a gun and does not care about scraping that wall, and that is really the hunger that we need to see from someone who is our points leader and has his eyes on the championship.
I don't know if he'd be too happy with putting on bent in half. No, but he definitely put it on the line, mate.
Nah, I know what he's talking about, though. He does not care. All he cares about is the result. Obviously, he won't intentionally drive it into a wall, but he will put it on the line.
And there you go. He has the advantage. Jeffries has to do something special in his lead. On Rob. On Jeffries' door.
Beautifully emulated switchback there, chain direction, same times as Jeffrey, and again here. That's exactly a point that the judges are looking for. Both cars need to change direction at the same time and follow the same line. Jeffrey having a little bit of a wall scrape down the bottom here, but Rob is all over him.
Yeah, good driving from both the boys there. That's what we expect to see up here in this third place battle. Rob on his door around that top corner, through the S's, doesn't let it get him away from him. Down the bottom. Listen to that pedal work from Rob.
You know what, Jeffrey obviously not afraid to put his car on the line either, having a sizable tap on the bottom wall there and roasting his way up onto the front straight. Very quick run. And there's the confirmation from the judges. Rob Avellino stepping onto the third step of our podium and hopefully crossing his fingers that Brad Toohey overtakes Bo Yates to secure himself that points lead in the championship. Bo Yates up against Brad Toohey, and the decision of this battle will see whether or not Rob Avellino holds on to his points lead. Let's go.
Bo Yates to lead, Brad Toohey to chase. 2J versus twin supercharged VA86s on the track, absolutely destroying those Achilles tyres. They come through the S's.
Both the drivers switching back so aggressively and quickly, and then Brad Toohey diving in nicely into the driver's door of Bo Yates, who's hugging that outside line there, and gee, he's one of the fastest guys in the competition up this straight here, but Brad catching up nicely through the last sweeper there. I mean, you can see why these guys have found themselves in the final, Shebri.
Wow, those 86s just destroying this figure eight. As we can see here, Bo exactly where the judge want to see him, but Brad is not letting him get away from him. Nice and clean coming through the S's. Plenty of cook out on track. Brad goes for a nice dive there, not letting Bo get away from him, but Bo the rocket ship, as he does here to everyone tonight, pulls a tiny gap. Toohey dives, starts to reel him in as they come over the bottom of the track. It's going to be a good final battle, Dave.
I tell you what though, as much as Bo's car seems to have the additional speed up the front straight, Toohey on the switchbacks and in the battles here, that car just dives so aggressively mid-corner. He's really nailed the rear end setup of that 8.6 and drives it incredibly well. So I'd say possibly a slight advantage there to Toohey in the chase position. And now it's going to be all down to this bottom section of the track here. Bo dropping a wheel on the inside, an uncharacteristic mistake from Bo, potentially because he was lost in the smoke back there.
Yeah, visibility out there would be zero, especially behind Brad Toohey and those Achilles tyres. The crowd seems to love it. Let's take a look at this replay. Looking good from both the drivers here. Bo right on Toohey's door. Coming through the S's here is where it all changes, but Toohey unleashes that Achilles smoke. Bo gets lost a little bit, drops the wheel. Toohey starts to pull a gap, and that could be the deciding factor.
And there's the result. Brad Toohey is our winner of round 4 and jumps to the top step of the podium. Tell you what, I'm sure a lot of us out there would be eager to have a year that Bo Yates calls a shocker, coming in at 3rd place in the championship standings on the other side of round 4, with Rob Avellino just losing his points lead there, and Brad Toohey securing a 9-point lead. Following it down, James Abbott in 4th, and Mitch Jeffery rounding out our top 5. We're going to see some tight battles and some championships decided in the final round of round 5 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. We'll see you next time.
Coming up after the break, we head to the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit as we look back on the opening round of the 2017 Australian Endurance Championship.